Good morning. Welcome to From the Nosebleeds. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Joey Gunnar here today with Jake Shapiro. Jake, how you feeling on this snowy Wednesday morning?
Oh, I'm doing good. You're getting a live look right now at our breaking news desk where the Colorado Rockies have just hired a new general manager, Josh Burns. So very exciting news, always happening here in the Denver sports area. And you're looking at the man behind the curtain on denversports.com.
Yeah, looking at the man and the product. I just got the push notification on my phone right there. Pretty exciting news, but we're not going to talk about the Rockies today. Luckily for most of you guys watching, I know a lot of people don't really want to talk about the Rockies. The good thing about them is that they're not going to lose a game for another couple months. That's the best thing going on. Aside with what Jake just posted, go check out Denver Sports, our website. Go check out the breaking news there. It's pretty big news that just broke. But right now, we're going to talk about the Nuggets, because they have a problem. They have had a problem for the past couple games, specifically at home. And this is a conversation I don't remember the last time I've been able to have it. The Nuggets have lost 4 straight home games, the first time since Nikola Jokic's rookie season. This is not something that usually happens in Denver. We're talking about a team that has one of the best home court advantages, and they've lost 4 straight games. Is this a real problem, or is this just a stretch of bad games, Jake?
Yeah, it's a real problem in terms of what's going on in the regular season, no doubt. These games all are bankable in the standings. They all matter. The Oklahoma City Thunder have lost 1 game this year. Like, this matters. But in terms of doesn't mean anything about the postseason, I don't know. They lose to the Dallas Mavericks, who are the worst offense in the NBA. They let them absolutely cook, but they're down their 2 best defensive players, and Jamal Murray doesn't play the fourth quarter. It's the only quarter this season that they've scored less than 20 points in. So does this mean anything about the future of the Nuggets? I don't really know. Maybe past the fact that there seems to be a systemic issue with the lack of effort with this team on defense. That's probably going to be something we see throughout the course of the regular season, because this defense is built on effort and physicality, and it's really hard to give that throughout the course of the regular season. That's not hard to give in the playoffs.
No, yeah, and injuries play a big part in that. You remember when the team was healthy at the beginning of the season, they were one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, top 3 in the net rating for defense and offense on both ends of the court. They were playing at the highest level, and that has fallen off quickly. And you look at the 4 teams that the Nuggets have lost to: the Bulls, Kings, Spurs, and Mavericks. All 4 of those games are very, very winnable. You're looking at the Bulls. Maybe that one I can give you a loss. They started off very hot. They're a well-rounded team. Josh Giddey's having a great season so far. But the Kings, you've already beat them twice this season. In the third matchup at home, you can't win. And then the Spurs, without Victor Wembanyama, you let Julian Champagnie put up, 37 points? A real bad loss. And the Mavericks, of course, Anthony Davis putting up 30, Cooper Flagg putting up another 20 on top of that. The defense has been a real issue, and you're exactly right. It comes down to the loss of 2 of their best defenders in that starting lineup. That is going to be something that can bite them in the butt right now, but in the playoffs, I'm not too worried about that. Moving forward, though, you got to look at the bright side of what the Nuggets are doing. On the road, they have been spectacular. It's a complete flip. We're looking at them at home, and they've been terrible. They really haven't been great, but they've won 11 straight road games. There's something going on, and I got to feel like David Adelman's talking to his guys and saying, hey, what's the deal? Because I feel like it isn't me. Is it a David Adelman problem?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really ready to go there quite yet. We're young into the season with a rookie head coach, and yeah, there are championship expectations. So David's going to get a little less of a leash and less grace than maybe normal. Yeah, I have some questions about David Adelman, no doubt. I voiced them yesterday on the rundown about just his in-game management stuff, and if you're going to complain about effort, you got to look in the mirror as the coach. You're responsible for getting that effort out. But I had talked to Spencer Jones the other night after the Nuggets lost on Monday. And I thought he just brought up a really smart, salient point. And guess what? The guy went to Stanford, so no doubt. He talked about how the Nuggets kind of let off the gas. They get so much confidence early on in these games at home because they get off to these big leads. And the Nuggets have led by 12 or more in 19 of their 20 games this season so far. And at home, they kind of get arrogant even. It's a problem. They get arrogant. And then all of a sudden, poof. It's an NBA team, the lead is gone, and you're fighting from behind, and you're going to lose. Whereas on the road, you can't get arrogant because you know the task at hand is tough. So that seems to be the mentality with the Nuggets, where they can't let their foot off the gas on the road because they know it's really hard to win on the road. Whereas at home, especially with their schedule as of late, Joey, where it's one on the road, one at home, one on the road, one at home, you come home and you kind of just, you relax, you ease up a little bit. It's human nature. So I can't blame them. It's November, it's December, early on in the NBA season, but this stuff does matter, and it will affect you when we're talking about seeding come April.
I really like that point that Spencer Jones specifically brought up, because you look at what happened in that Mavericks game specifically, you could tell they were playing with a little bit of arrogance. In that first quarter, we were seeing Jamal Murray, every single pass he had was behind the back, and they were pulling out these flashy passes and dunks, and Spencer Jones was going off, had something like 12 points. Well, what was it in the first quarter? He was going off. They were playing with that confidence, and that confidence quickly turned sour because in the second quarter, they were outscored by basically the same amount that they outscored the Mavericks in that first quarter. It was a real lack of effort shown after that first quarter. And then after that, you're playing on your heels. You know, you're not really putting in that same effort you put in right at the beginning. You've got this energy coming out of the gates, and it just doesn't last the whole way. Arrogance is something that I don't think we can say we're used to here. Maybe we are, and we just haven't noticed it, but it's great to see somebody like Spencer Jones, who's in a role like he is, which is very limited, and he's getting a chance to shine, and he's been doing a great job so far. Step up and get in front of the cameras and say, you know what? We've got to play with some poise. We've got to play the way that we've known. That's really profound that he said that. Moving forward, do you think that that's something that's going to be kind of pounded into this Nuggets team? Is it going to be led by somebody other than Nikola Jokic? Because, you know, we're seeing injuries, and Nikola Jokic is always going to be the leader, but the leader can only do so much. It's got to be a second leader who's got to step up and make a change happen. Is that somebody like Spencer Jones is going to be out there talking to these guys and saying, hey, we need to step up in a lot of ways?
They're not going anywhere without Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and Jamal Murray. Let's be clear. Like, can they get through this stretch in December with just Nikola Jokic? Sure, it's going to be ugly, and they've got 12 of their next 17 on the road, Joey. If they can just go 10-7 in that stretch, I think that's pretty solid. And we're talking about them, you know, being okay with them losing 7 games when there's the team ahead of them that's only lost 1, right? And they've already lost, you know, 6 games, 5 games, whatever the Nuggets record is exactly right now. So, yeah, man, like we're in a different arena than those guys out there in Oklahoma City. So it's hard to compare. The Nuggets can just worry about, you know, 2 things, I think, that are the overall goals: being healthy come April, and, you know, tinkering with the seeding a little bit so you avoid Oklahoma City in the first and second rounds, try to run into them in the Western Conference Finals, which means you need a 2nd, 3rd, or 6th seed. So aside from that, I think everything is cake, quite honestly. It's not that important. So we've already seen through the first 2 weeks of the NBA season that the Denver Nuggets can play at an elite level. That looked like a team that was ready for the playoffs at that point before guys went down with injuries. So I've already been shown that the Nuggets are a great team. Like, that's fine. So now it's about just getting these guys healthy and making sure that you get through this battle that is the regular season, and not fatiguing Nikola Jokic too much in this month of November where you could be down 3 starters.
Yeah. Well, that's the first part of the bad. You know, we talked about the 4 games lost at home. Now we can hit on those injuries a little bit more. And you brought up Jamal Murray, went down with an ankle injury in the game against the Mavericks. A really unfortunate loss, being that you're already down CB and Aaron Gordon. This is going to be something, you brought it up correctly, exactly right. You got 17 games, 10-7 would be perfect without Jamal Murray too. Do the Nuggets need to start preparing for a future in December without Jamal Murray? Is this a serious injury that he'd be dealing with? I know that we don't really know what this is, but I mean, we could be looking at something really bad. We could be looking at a mid-season, you know, tear down of what could have been just with these 3 injuries right now. Jamal Murray, what's the deal there? I mean, you're the insider here, Jake. Are we going to get anything before this game?
Yeah, the fact that he's listed as questionable right now tells you that it's at least a situation where he's not going to be missing more than probably a week. He would not be on the trip, and we would have probably seen a Shams Charania tweet by now, like we did with Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, that he's going to be out multiple weeks. The fact that we haven't is a very positive sign. Do I think he's going to play tonight? I have no idea. I have no information on that as of now. They keep these things pretty tight to the vest. But the big hint of a long-term injury is the fact that he is already listed as questionable on this injury report. But it is concerning to see a guy in Jamal Murray, and people can take their shots at him for being in shape or the injuries he's faced in the past, whatever, man. He's one of the toughest athletes I've ever been around. Like, legitimately, he fights through pain like very few, like a hockey player, and he's from Canada, So, the fact that he checked himself out of the game because he was in pain tells me that it was a really actual injury, and maybe he just rolled his ankle really bad that night and it'll be okay. Maybe not tonight, but in a week, that would be great. But Joey, without Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets are screwed. They don't have another point guard. Not really. Jalen Pickett's their other point guard. The one game Jamal Murray didn't play, Jalen Pickett started in his place. And I think Jalen Pickett's fine for playing 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even in the regular season. He's not a playoff caliber player. We know that. He's a little bit too short. We saw what happened when he went to play in the playoffs last year. So the Denver Nuggets are going to have to string it together with Jalen Pickett and Bruce Brown, who frankly just does not look like he is at that point guard level that he was at in the 22-23 season, at least as of now. And you saw what that amounted to in the game against Dallas. Nikola Jokic was straight up playing point guard. He normally is kind of pseudo playing point guard. Jokic was straight up playing point guard in the second half of that game. And again, you're just putting so much tax on Jokic. They do have an open roster spot. They do have some ability to maneuver with salary cap left over and some exemptions and some players that they could probably do away with. That being said, as of now, and we are on December 3rd, NBA trade season doesn't open until December 15th. So you kind of got to string it together for another 11 days and then reassess where you're at before you start looking and having eyes everywhere else.
Well, I want to hit on more about Jamal Murray, but first, there's a guy in LA, point guard in LA, that was just dropped from his team this morning.
No.
There's a point guard from his team that was just dropped this morning. What do you think about some CP3 happening here in Denver? You don't like that idea?
We already have too many 2021 Phoenix Suns, 2022 era Phoenix Suns around the roster with Cam Johnson. I've come to accept him. He's a great guy. I have no problem with Cam Johnson. But, man, Chris Paul has been dirty in this league for so long, and he's done so many nasty things to the Denver Nuggets. I got all the respect in the world for CP3, one of the best point guards in NBA history, but he has been a Nuggets rival and enemy for years. Joey, what happened last year when they brought in a Nuggets rival and enemy to be their backup point guard? It was a bleep show. It was a bleep show. Let's not do that again.
Okay. I know where you stand. I do love the idea of.
I'd rather have Monte Morris back. I mean, neither Monte Morris or Chris Paul can play defense or are going to play in the postseason. But I'd rather have Monte back because at least Jokic loves him. Monte.
Yeah, I love Monte. I mean, bring back Gary Harris, somebody like that. I mean,
Gary's on a roster. Monte isn't. I don't know. Clearly, Joey, I beat you in a game of. He's still in the league.
You probably would. I mean, I didn't know Danilo Gallinari was still in the league until yesterday when he officially retired.
In Puerto Rico playing with JaVale McGee.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Yeah, okay.
This summer they won a championship.
There you go. Okay, so no CP3. I was just thinking about, hey, you had DeAndre Jordan. He was a great vet leader. Let's bring back another Lob City member in CP3. Maybe not the best case. But Jamal Murray, with his injury, I can only expect that he is the one fighting the hardest to get back on the court for one reason and one reason only. His hot start this season, his best start to a season in his career, is leading to an all-star selection. He is being looked at as an all-star this season because of how well he's played right out of the gate, something that we haven't seen from Jamal Murray. He has to be the one in the locker room begging to get back out on the court to continue that all-star campaign. Am I wrong in assuming so?
I don't think it's the main reason he's trying to get back. I think his goals are team-driven first. I really do believe that about Jamal, based off of everything I've seen.
Huh.
Do I think he wants to be an all-star? For sure. I mean, he's made that clear, but I don't think that that's his number one goal. I really don't see him as that self-centered, quite honestly. But do I think he's been deserving of that all-star selection? Quite honestly, Joey, I watch a lot of basketball. I haven't really gone through my list yet. We're going to do that tomorrow on the Mile High Hoops podcast. We're about the quarter waypoint of the NBA season already of who is deserving. I know there's some real tough competition at the guard spot in the West. Austin Reeves has really made a strong case early on this season as a guy who's maybe on the outside looking in. Jamal's one of those guys kind of on the outside looking in, for that spot, because someone has to not be on the all-star team that was on it before. But historically speaking, if you're averaging, 23, 7-5 on efficient shooting as Jamal is for a really good team, that's well enough to be in the candidacy. And you're totally right that, if he misses a week, it'll be fine. It won't affect his candidacy. But if he misses more time than that, and he is ineffective in his play, he's right on that cusp. So, yeah, would love to see Nikola Jokic finally play with an all-star teammate. Some will say he's already had one in Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon or, Paul Millsap or DeAndre Jordan or Russell Westbrook or whoever you want to say. The reality of the situation is, as of today, Nikola Jokic is the only MVP in NBA history that has not played with a guy that was considered by fans, coaches, and players around the league as one of the top 15 players in that conference the same season Jokic was playing and active. And Jokic has won 3 MVPs, not just one. So a real anomaly in league history, as is the fact that the 45th overall pick became one of the best players in the league. If not saying he's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
But so all of this is kind of weird, but would love to put that stat to bed finally, Joey, because I've been a Jamal Murray fan for a long, long time. And I truly believe he's one of the 5 most important Nuggets in their franchise's history. He has some of the biggest moments in Nuggets history. And, for those things alone, I would love to see him get that all-star nod. But this season, he has come out on fire. And it's a shame that the leg issues come back and bite him always at the worst time, seemingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's great that you brought up the anomaly in Nikola Jokic. That's his whole life is an anomaly. His whole career has been an anomaly. And of course, he's bringing home another award. Just an incredible start to the season for him. Wins Player of the Month for November and October. I can't even be surprised about what he does anymore. Take a look at his season stats right here. 29 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, 11.1 assists per game on 62, 43, and 85%. Can we be surprised about this, or is this just what we've got to be used to? Those are incredible numbers, and I feel like we are just accustomed to them.
I'm not. I've said for the last 3 years, Joey, hey, man, Jokic had a great, great year, and he's the best player in the league. But chances are it's probably not going to get much better. And for the last 3 years, it somehow has gotten better the next year.
It just somehow does.
He's shooting 45%. He is a 7-foot center who is leading the league in assists and rebounds. And he's shooting 45% from 3. Prime Steph Curry numbers on the amount of attempts from 3 in a game that Magic Johnson would shoot over the course of an entire season. It's insane, Joey. It makes no sense. He is the best scoring player in the post I have ever seen personally as well. He is the dominance of Shaq on the block. He has the IQ of Tim Duncan. He has the assists and playmaking skills of Bill Walton and Magic Johnson combined. He has the shooting of Steph Curry, and he has the size of Arvydas Sabonis. It's unbelievable what he has done for the Denver Nuggets over the course of his entire career. This season alone, he has stepped his game up to an even newer height, and he is just taking on so much on his plate right now. Joe, he became the first player in NBA history to have a 19-game stretch representative of October and November where he scored 550 points, grabbed 235 rebounds or more, and threw as many assists as he did. No one had ever done that to that level. And again, he's doing it at the efficiency shooting-wise of Steph Curry from the field and Mitchell Robinson, who is the all-time leader in field goal percentage in the paint from the paint. It is unbelievable.
I love everything about what you just said because it perfectly encapsulated how great it is. It showed that passion of what he is. And I love looking through 2019, 2020. That's when you could really see that step up from Nikola Jokic. Average 19 points, 9.7 rebounds, 7 assists. every single year since then, he has improved vastly. After that, 2020, 2021, averaged 7 more points per game, a rebound more per game, and an assist more per game. After that, year after that, 1 more point per game, 3 more rebounds per game, and then a little under 1 assist per game. After that, 3 less points per game, 2 less rebounds per game, but 2 more assists per game. So still improvement. After that, 2 more points per game, 1 more rebound per game, and a little under a point or assist less per game. So you're seeing this continuous improvement. Then you get to 2024-25 last season, he was averaging a career high 29.6 points, 12.7 rebounds, and a career high 10.2 assists. Doesn't get much better than that, right? Doesn't get much better. This year is better. 12.8 rebounds. That's more rebounds. 11.1 assists. That's 1 more whole assist and half a point less per game. Just continuous improvement throughout his career.
Joey, what was his minutes per game last year, and what are they this year?
They were 36.7 minutes per game last year. This year they're 34.9, so 2 minutes less per game.
Yeah, so he's equaling his stat line at a more efficient rate and bettering it with 2 less minutes on the floor this year so far.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to assume it's going to continue to improve. I cannot, in my good faith, I cannot go into next season and have that thought in me that he's going to have a decline in his rate, because it just can't happen with this guy. I mean, you are looking at a player who plays in a certain play style that will never get outdated. It will never become old. He won't age out of this play style. You look at certain players, you don't lose your shooting. That's why Steph Curry has hit 4,300 threes in his career, and he plays at the same level. LeBron James is a freak of nature, and he's been able to keep that same athleticism. But Russell Westbrook can't play it the same way he did back in 2015 because his play style relied completely on athleticism, and you age out of that. Nikola Jokic doesn't play with athleticism. He plays with his brain. He plays where he can sit in certain spots and create plays just by reading how the defense is lined up. He sees that. That's not something that you lose with age. You don't lose your sight until you're 80. You lose your sight when you're 80. You don't lose it now. He doesn't jump high. He doesn't run super fast. I mean, he's faster than people think, but it's not like he's up there with the De'Aaron Foxes of the world. He's going to continue playing like this until he retires, and he's not going to retire because he's aged out. He's going to retire because he wants to go play with his horses. It's incredible. It's incredible, Jake. It's incredible. Yeah. I got to love it.
Yeah, so don't get used to it. We'll never see anything like it again. I was sitting with a national NBA writer on Monday through the first quarter. Nikola Jokic almost had a triple-double in the first quarter of that game. And he's like, we'll never see anything like it again. And I said to him, that's not necessarily true, and I'm not ready to go there for the only fact of what if the rules change? Unless the rules change, we'll never see anything like him again. But the rules change and the sport changes quite a bit year over year, decade over decade. Joey, what if they had a 4-point line? Like, there are things that we can't foresee right now. So maybe one day things will change in the course of the NBA that make Jokic's stats look a little bit less good or whatever. But as of right now, in December of 2025, I can tell you unequivocally, Nikola Jokic is the greatest basketball player that's ever existed, and there's not a doubt in my mind that that is a true statement. Are the accomplishments there yet? No, he needs to get a couple more rings. We all know it. But his dominance over the league for a 5-year period now, as you just laid out, Joey, it's only been accomplished by a couple guys in NBA history, and they're on the Rushmore. They're on Mount Rushmore, and Jokic is on Mount Rushmore now, in my mind, at least.
He has to be. He definitely has to be. And I'm going to say it now. He's going to win another MVP here this season. I mean,
I'm not Joey. SGA's averaging 30 for a team who's lost only one time.
That's great, but you can't be an MVP on a team when you've got another all-star. I mean, like when you've got players around you who are as good as the players around.
If they go
in OKC
and he scores 30 points a game, you can't not give it to him. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yes, you can. And you know why you can? Because you got a player averaging an 11 assist triple-double while also averaging 30 points per game and is going to end up on pace this season with 43 triple-doubles around that number. I don't know exactly the pace, but he's got 11 through 20 games. I mean, what you're going to go through the 1 seed who's 78-4 or whatever it is, and then the 2 seed who could be the Nuggets with a center averaging a 30-point, 14 rebound, 12 assist, triple double. And obviously those aren't his real stats, but 30, 12, and 11 is very reasonable for him while also recording 43 triple doubles. You got to give it to the guy who's got 43 triple doubles.
If the 2 seed wins 20 fewer games and 58 wins would literally be a franchise record for the Nuggets. And that's what everyone's targeting this year. And Jokic averages a triple double while SGA averages 32 for a team that goes 78-4. I'm telling you where it's going, Joey. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm telling you where it's going, and it's going to Oklahoma City.
I think that I think the NBA fans would riot, and I'd be right up in there with a picket
fence.
They
won't.
I would.
They don't. They don't.
You know what? You might be right. I hope that you're wrong. But just to cap this off, to put our signature on it, Nikola Jokic, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, if not the greatest. Every time he steps on the court, what he does cannot be overlooked. I mean, he's got something like an 18.4 box plus minus. I tweeted about it a couple weeks ago. Just incredible numbers from the guy. And it's something that you cannot take for granted. So, Jake, thank you for joining. Thanks for talking Nuggets with me. I always love talking some ball with you. But thank you guys all for joining. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you all later. Bye, y'all.